Hey, good evening, my friends. How are you? Welcome once again to another edition of Wednesday Night Live here on Mike Avery Outdoors. My name is Mike Avery. Not outdoors tonight, indoors. In fact, I didn't go hunting tonight, obviously, because I was going to do this as well. But it would have been a wet. Let's stop that right there. Let me see what that email. I'm waiting for it. Oh, it's just telling me I'm live as opposed to dead. That's good to know, right? It's always good to be live as opposed to the alternative. That's for sure. Hello, Craig. How are you, my friend? Fellow big guy. Nice to have you along with us. Chad, good evening. How are you, buddy? Mike, what day is it? It's hump day. It's hump day. But you knew that. Ed Bolanowski, how are you, buddy? Nice to have you with us as well. Paulie Phillips, the man, the myth, the legend, the best, one of the best extreme long range shooters literally in the world. Jay, Rich, Sean, Randy, Jim, Hersey checking in. Jim from Hersey. How are things in Hersey? Chris Hahn checking in. Derek says, how is everybody tonight? Dennis Labine. Slow season for our group in Crawford County. George says, hey, my man, Big Mike, how the heck are you? I'm doing good. How are you, buddy? Speaking of buddies, there's my buddy Johnny Bowler. Robert Cahoon. Chris checking in from Kansas. Got out of a tree stand. That's a cool name, Holly. Holly LaJoy. I love that name. Very cool name. Julie says, I got my ham thanks to you both of you. Wasn't home when it got delivered. Okay. Blake is watching with Papa. Hey, Blake. How you doing, buddy? How have you been? Did you have fun on Papa's boat last summer? I bet you did. Heidi checking in from Huron County. Roger checking in from Burt. Ron checking in from Au Gres and Deer Camp. Johnny, I've already been asked this. The question is, Mike, what day is it? It's hump day. Cameron, how are you? Bernie, where'd you go? Louis checking in for call on Captain Mike. Thank you for that. Robert checking in on YouTube. Who's your Johnny dropping in? Patrick killed his first buck in Fredric. Okay, Patrick. So did you kill your first buck in Fredric, or you killed your first buck and you just happened to be in Fredric? Anyway, congrats. Happy Wednesday to you, Kirk. Tim Binns, good evening, buddy. How are you? I've been taking the Ron White approach the last several seasons. Help me out. I'm sure. Dave, you made a comment earlier when I posted that picture of my dad. Hey, John, good evening, buddy. How are you? Lori, how are you? Rachel's watching with Papa too. I want to go back to Dave. You made a comment, Dave, about when your dad passed 10 years ago. You had a hard time going hunting and fishing until recently. I got to be honest, that's why I don't fish salmon. That's one of the big reasons I don't fish salmon anymore. That's what my dad and I did. We fished salmon. So when he was gone, I didn't feel like fishing salmon anymore. So, Dave, I know exactly what you were saying. James did get a nice buck. Yes, he did. Oh, who's got to go? The pager went off. All right, Johnny, get out there and do your good for the fire department. I hope everybody's being safe in the woods as well. Ron White said, too early and it's cold. I don't want to go. Gotcha. Any info on the wolf killing a horse near Newberry? Johnny Bowler, who just left, is the guy who told me about. I don't know anymore. Johnny could answer that for you. No luck in Lovells this year. But last year, this live show made us have the most epic deer camp ever. Ham time. We're going to give away a ham later tonight. Good evening, Michelle. How are you? Lakers and salmon with your dad as well. George is here on the board with a nice buck. Yeah, we're going to give away a ham for the holidays here in a few minutes with Nick Grillo of Michigan brand. Jeff, not a problem that you're late. Just glad you're here. Craig, the Bucks are still chasing a bit. My latest grass hard for me because it's the first one day after Dad passed it. That would have been tough, Laurie. Absolutely. Kevin, good evening. How are you, buddy? My name is Mike Avery. This is a Wednesday Night Live, and we're talking about the great outdoors. I forgot to add my 2 hashtags. Talking about outdoors. Those are the hashtags I always use. Jared checking in from Addison, sharpening knives and making jerky. Speaking of knives, what is this one? I used it today. I used it to open a package today. I still got some tape on it. My Rapid River. Mike is a pro Second Amendment person. Where do you stand on the Kyle Rittenhouse trial? I don't know anything about the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. I've heard the name. I don't know anything about it. Nothing. I've heard about it. I know it's a big deal, but I know nothing about it because I don't watch the news. I can't make myself do it. Danny, good evening. How are you? And yes, it's not because I'm not a gun guy, because you know I'm a gun guy. All day you were eating freaking pickles. Tom checking in from, hey, Tom, Taggett from Frankenmuth. I'm assuming you're related to Matt. Are you? Kevin, good evening, buddy. It'd be a good knife for gutting deer and cutting apples. So you saw my post, eh, Bernie? Great to see you as well, Larry. Bucks are chasing in Kansas. Had 10-point just out of range tonight. Stay with it, buddy. He'll be there. Roger seeing a lot of deer moving today in the rain. Still no shooter yet. Good evening, Ray. How are you? Still waiting to see if Mr. Taggett is related to Mr. Matt Taggett of Wreck Broadheads. Love Wreck Broadheads. I want to put one through a whitetail. In fact, Bob Blades, good evening from down the street. Hey, buddy, how are you? I put my rifle away. Distant cousins. Oh, I figured you were like brothers. Okay, Tom. I took my 30-06 out opening day of the season. I had it with me. And sitting next to my crossbow, my dart and crossbow, praying that if I got a shot, it would be with the crossbow and not the gun. Tony, how are you, buddy? And the next time I go out, which hopefully will be tomorrow evening, it'll be with my crossbow. I brought my rifle out, did it. Now I'm going to go back to my crossbow. Crazy how many big bucks are getting shot over killer food plots and giving Nick credit for his great product. Still have a hard time knowing he's gone. I talked to Tracy just yesterday, Scott. And it was about, Nick Percy of Killer Food Plots, a mutual friend of Scott's and I. I died of COVID here while we were down in Ohio. So what's that been? 3 weeks? A month maybe now? A month, I guess. Lance Valentine of, I almost said, what? Teaching Fishing, teachingfishing.com. Lance, it looks like you guys had a great outing down in Ohio on Lake Erie. Lance is one of the few guys who can get away with calling me Mikey. And I don't even call him Lancey. 2 headshots this year. No meat ruined. Good for you, Bernie. 2 shots. 2 deer down. It's so hard to find deer. I used to go hunting a lot when Dad being really sick with dementia. Brian, you're the 3rd person to ask me. Mike, what day is it? It's hump day. It was awesome. Great fishing and great weather. Can't beat that. Good for you, Lance. Lance Valentine of Teaching Fishing, one of the most knowledgeable anglers I know and one of the best fishing educators I know, and one of the best all-around guys. He's just a great guy. I love Lance. Love him like a brother. Hey, Paul, how are you this evening? Nice to have you along with us on this edition of Wednesday Night Live. Shaun is going to go out with his 4570 or his crossbow. There's just something about it. I mean, I have nothing against guns, right? I just pulled this one off my ankle. I have nothing against guns at all. I love guns. But the idea of killing another deer with a gun, I just soon do it with my crossbow. I'd prefer to do it with my recurve, but that ain't going to happen because I gave up the recurve because I wasn't shooting it enough. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate that. For those of you who can't see it, enjoy your show. Great work, Mike. Jeff says, not this week, Captain Lance. My day was good, Ross. How about yours? Actually, Ross, I got to tell you, I got to be honest. My day was a little frustrating. We got a new fireplace here at the house. It's a high-end electric fireplace, and it's beautiful. Beautiful. Because we didn't want to run a gas line. And it quit working. After about 6 weeks of having it, it quit working. And I'm having a heck of a time getting it fixed. Since we bought it from a company down in Brighton, they won't send a service guy up here. They sent me the parts to fix it. I swapped them out because I'm lucky I have some electronic ability. So I took the thing apart, put in a new board, printed circuit board, PCB, because they said that would solve the problem, and it didn't. So actually, I'm a little frustrated. I got to be honest. Shaun said, I hear you'd rather get a deer with a crossbow. Lance is headed back down for the weekend. Russ checking in from Tennessee. How are things down there, Russ? Did I pay the electrical bill? Well, let's see. My lights are on in here, so I must have. Tim says he looked at them, just can't do electric. You haven't looked at the right ones, Tim. I hear what you're saying, because a lot of them don't look very real. You get a good one, you get the right one, they look very real. The problem is now it doesn't work. It's still under warranty. How am I going to get it fixed? Where'd we go? Sam and his brothers went out and bought me a 4570 this year because I mentioned to Sam that's the caliber I always wanted. What great kids. Handgun hunting, maybe a show segment. Absolutely. In fact, you're reading my mind. Actually made in England, made in Britain. You're reading my mind. Gabe Van Warmer is going to be on the show next week to talk about handgun hunting. Susan checking in from Indian River. No, the fireplace was made in Great Britain. The English made it. So you can't blame the Chinese on this one, for this one. All right, my friends, let's talk about a few things, and then we'll give away a Michigan brand ham for the holidays. Deer hunting, my hunt. I've been out only once, opening day. I didn't go out in the morning because it was too early and too cold. I took Rod, whatever his name is, advice. I went out in the evening. License sales. Lori says she loves her electric fireplace. Also have one in the camper. Again, if you get the right one, they look very real. We're getting way off topic here, but the most realistic electric fireplace I've ever seen is called a Dimplex. It even has little sparks coming up, but it doesn't have a heater. Why would you want a fireplace without a heater? Smith and Wesson Model 57 and 41 mag. Gotta love that. I do love revolvers. I love snubbies. I love snubbies. I love everything about snubbies except the capacity. I don't want them having I don't want to have a self-defense gun with only 5 rounds. I know. If you need more than 5, you're in trouble. Well, yeah. If you need more than 5, you are in trouble. A 460, where'd you go? 460 Roland kit for the 1911. Hey, Deborah, how are you? Nice to have you along with us. Pellet stove. I've heard a lot of good things about those pellet stoves. Yeah, absolutely. License sales. I had heard horror stories that license sales were way down. Deer license sales. They are down, but not that much. I'll talk about it in a second. Every opening eve, I watch your video from far back talking about your interview with Fred Bear. And then I was in Escanaba in the moonlight. Then we had Fred Bear on the radio. That's a pretty good night. Old-fashioned pumps shotgun. Want to go walleye fishing my boat this weekend? Coming over. I'd love to, Scott. Love to. Can't. Have fun. You'll remember that in 2020, deer license sales went way up, presumably because of COVID, because people were off work, so they bought hunting licenses. Preliminary license sales this year in Michigan, and I say preliminary because they won't know the actual numbers till the end of the season. They're down 4 to 5% from 2020. That's not that bad. And they're still up over what they were in 2019. I'd rather not be in trouble than out of bullets. It takes as many as it takes. That's the thing about this. Even with this short mag, what's it got? 13, if I remember right. I don't have enough light in here to see. 13 rounds. out of a little micro. Not bad. You missed me this morning, Jim. I missed you as well. I think Jason was on here earlier. Jason's a 365 guy. I was just watching a video on YouTube before I went on. I think his name is Lenny. Real buff, older guy, great voice on the Glock store on YouTube. Talking about that whole thing with Alec Baldwin and how that could have been prevented. Very, very interesting. Speaking of interesting, if you're on Instagram, I would encourage you to go to, it's either Wolverine Sportsman or Wolverine. In fact, let me check here. I just might pull it up. Give me a second here. I like it so much, I might pull it up because it's worthy. Wolverine Outdoorsman on Instagram, Wolverine Outdoorsman. And I'll see. Okay, let me share this with you. Share screen, tab, boom. Let me come back and see if it's shared. Okay, you see this right here? I found this on Instagram this morning. It's from a guy, Wolverine Outdoorsman. He's in the UP, Crystal Falls. Look what this is. It's a small spike buck. This post is so insightful. Wolverine Outdoorsman says, this buck had me the moment I saw him in my trail camera photos. I did not find his sheds from the previous years, but because he was on my trail camera, he was instantly on the hit list and given a name. On opening day, around 9:30, Stud Muffin rolled in from the pines, grunting occasionally and owning it. My nerves were frayed, and I was a hot mess when I looked at those main beams, all the while trying to compose myself. As he cleared the last pine tree at 15 yards, I flipped the safety off and sent one from my .6. He didn't go 20. The green score on this brute is 7 3/16. Of course, I'll have to wait for the 60-day drying period before it can be officially scored by Boone and Crockett. Then he goes on to say, for those of you who don't know me, this is tongue-in-cheek, and he talks at length about how we have gotten so carried away on social media and the TV shows. I found it, and I made a comment. I said, that is one of the best posts I have ever seen on the internet. Check it out. Check it out. All right. Mammoth Corner in the house. Mike. Oh, and there's Chris. This is funny. Mike was just talking about Mammoth Corner in the house. He's talking about our Rapid River Mammoth Ivory knives made by this man himself, Chris Durson of Rapid River Knife Works. Mike saw our Wednesday night live at the Rapid River showroom, and he was so impressed with this, he went out and he ordered one for himself from Chris Durson at Rapid River Knife Works, rapidriverknifeworks.com. By the way, I was saying on the show this morning, I don't think you can do much better than to buy a knife as a Christmas present. A knife like this is a family heirloom. Use it every day, hand it down. It's a wonderful, wonderful Christmas present. Check them out at Jay's Sporting Goods or go to the website, rapidriverknifeworks.com. But do not drag your feet. Chad likes his Glock 40. Any ducks on the pond? There's still a few geese left. Jim checking in from Gladwin. How are you? Nice bucks. That is great. It makes a boom in a crock pot. Great story on the spike. I thought so too. Wouldn't mind a Taurus Judge revolver if anybody was looking for a Christmas present. Jazz says he wants one. He's got to get up there. Absolutely you do. Mike had Jeremiah 29:11 on his, printed on his. There was hey, Corey, how are you, buddy? Still after a buck. Did manage to fill my bear tag late in the season. Good for you. Good for you. Isn't shooting small bucks QDM since you're reducing the competition for does and food? We're not going there tonight, Craig. Stu, good evening, buddy. How are you? You can't tell how big the buck is once it's in the chili. Good evening, Captain Mark Patanzik. How are you? Scott Hand made a comment earlier. I'd like to go back to it if I can find it. About there. No, that wasn't it. Big bucks. Can't find it. And I didn't get a chance to read it, Scott, because it went. There's Jason right there. Jason, what day is it? It's SIG P365 day. I know it's always that. Just got to learn you're going to have a grandpa of a little girl in March. Jason, congrats. Rick got his Rapid River knife. Paul went there a couple of days after your show and bought them for both his son-in-law a knife for Christmas. That's what we want. We want people to buy Michigan-made products, and this is a Michigan-made product. Got my name on it. Right there it is, the big guy. If you haven't been to Rapid River Knife Works in the UP, it's definitely worth the trip. And where do we find Rapid River Knife Works? Rapid River in the UP. All right, let's give away a ham for the holidays. Nick, you out there, buddy? Has anybody seen Nick Grillo? I'm sure he's here. He is also the proud owner of a Mammoth Ivory Rapid River knife. It is a beauty. Waiting to see if Nick Grillo is out there because we're going to give away a ham for the holidays. Evening, John. How are you? Which is better, the SIG P365 or the Easy 9? I can't make that comment, Tony, because it all depends on how it feels in your hand. They're both fine good guns. There we go. Nick Grillo. Nick, you know Nick Grillo of Michigan Brand Meats, michiganbrand.net. Good friend of the Outdoor Magazine show and a good friend of Mike Avery. Nick and the entire Grillo family, very generous. And they're giving away a ham for the holidays now through the first of the year. How do you win? You start right now. 2 minutes. You have 2 minutes to make your comments on why you should win a Michigan Brand ham for the holidays. I'll ask you this. Maker's Mark is coming up because I'm frustrated over that fireplace. 2 minutes to make your comments on why you want to win a Michigan Brand ham. I'll ask you this, though. Please don't say it's because you're giving it to a needy family, even though it's an honorable thing to do. It makes it impossible for Nick to choose. Please don't say it's because you're suffering from... don't make it hard for Nick to choose. My wife spent $43 on a turkey, and he hates turkey. Would love to have a Michigan Brand ham. I hear your hams are the best. Love to try one. Dave stops in at Rapid River every time he goes to Wisconsin. All right, who wants a Michigan Brand ham for the holidays? Tim his belly likes a ham. You got 1 minute 30 seconds on why you want to win a Michigan Brand ham for the holidays. We will continue this every week because the folks at Michigan Brand are generous and because we want to help people out and because it seems like the right thing to do. 1 minute. 1 minute. Good point. Can't beat Michigan made. Well, Michigan made. Because Nick also has a Mammoth tooth ivory knife, and so do I. 45 seconds. 45 seconds on why you want to win a Michigan Brand ham. 40 seconds. I need a different timer tonight because my timer's gone. John Callison's gone. And once again, I've still got a bad throat tonight. I have for a week now. For over a week now. I just can't get rid of this. 20 seconds on the Michigan Brand. 20 seconds on why you want to win a Michigan Brand ham. Ham for the holidays. 15, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I hope somebody timed that. I really hope somebody timed that. Thank you, Mike. I really hope somebody timed that thing. Did Nick pick his winner? Somebody said congrats to the winner. Did I miss it? It's a new world record, but did you time it? 39.92. No, 32.92. Boom. Boom. Keith Timbs is the winner, ham dinner. Keith Timbs, winner, ham for the holidays dinner. Keith Timbs is our winner. It was a good buzzer. You thought your phone froze. Got to 35. I felt pretty good. For being weak in the lungs right now, I did pretty good. Keith Timbs, congrats on that. Nick Grillo of Michigan Brand, thank you as always for your generosity. You got $33.50 for your generosity. I think you and Butch are going fishing tomorrow. Have fun. And appreciate your generosity, Nick. And we'll look forward to talking with you next week here again on Wednesday Night Live. So the website, michiganbrand.net. It's michiganbrand.net. Keith Timbs. Congrats. Thank you, Nick. Have fun fishing. And listen, just because you didn't win one doesn't mean you can't have one. Like, I'm going to go to my local Jack's fruit market and I'm going to buy a spiral cut honey glazed ham for Thanksgiving. We're going to get a turkey, and we always have a ham. We'll have a ham for Thanksgiving. Is there any Michigan brand salmon? There is not. Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. Thanksgiving, Christmas, and Easter, we always have a Michigan brand ham. Good evening, big buck killer Brent James. How are you, buddy? Congrats on your buck. All right, what else is on Avery's list to talk about tonight? Can you believe that Thanksgiving is a week from tomorrow? How did that happen? Lori says she's going to have to go to Jack's as well if Nick doesn't call her name here. How did it get to be Thanksgiving a week from tomorrow? They do have a lot of products on their website. And if you go to the website, michiganbrand.net, you can order online and they'll ship it anywhere. And if you use the promo code Mike20, Mike20, Mike21, you can get 20% off. I think it's Mike20, get 20% off. Or Mike21. Try Mike20 and try Mike21 to get a discount on all Michigan brand products, including the wonderful Mike Avery hunter sticks, the peppered elk hunter sticks. Nick Grillo, can you get duck blood for soup? No, Nick Grillo, can you get duck blood for soup? Don't know the answer to that. MichiganBrand.net, MichiganBrand.net. Thanksgiving ham for the holiday. Oh, speaking of codes and great Christmas presents, and again, I think that a knife is a great Christmas present. There we go, Nick. It's Mike21. Thank you, buddy. Mike Avery, have you ever been invited to Ted Nugent's property in Michigan or Texas? Not Texas, Michigan, yes. Mike21. MichiganBrand.net, MichiganBrand.net. Use the promo code Mike21, and you can get an discount on everything on the website, including those very, very nice peppered elk sticks, the Mike Avery sticks. Yes, it was here we go, Nick. The Michigan brand Hunters pack that I took was good. It was. Terry, how are things in Shingleton? Is there still snow on the ground in Shingleton, Terry? Anyway, speaking of Christmas presents, I don't think there's a much finer Christmas present than a knife, like my Rapid River knife. But there are some options. There are some alternatives. Like I'm thinking now, the Wraith 270 see-through ground blind from Primal Tree Stands. If you have a hunter on your list, a deer hunter, a bear hunter, or a turkey hunter, I think that would make an excellent Christmas present. Go to the website, primaltreestands.com. That's Primal Tree Stands. Yes, but it's melting fast. Primaltreestands.com, primaltreestands.com, and use the promo code Avery, and you can get, again, a discount on everything on their website, and you can get one of those Wraith 270 see-through ground blinds for $199.42. That would be an excellent Christmas present. MSU B-ball is on tonight. Don't mean to be rude, Brian, but could care less. Honestly, I listen. As a kid, I loved basketball. I can't watch it these days. I can't watch pro. I can't, especially pro. I can't watch college. It's not the game that I grew up playing. They carry the ball. They double dribble. They're doing this with it all the time. I can't watch it because I cringe every time I see somebody dribbling at shoulder height doing this. I can't do it. I can't do it. It's not the game I grew up playing. What's it like hunting with Ted Nugent? I don't know if I've ever really hunted with him. Mine survived the wet snow. Stu, my Wraith 270 did. Yes, but there is no discount on the ladder stands because the shipping costs on them from the website is astronomical. Ace, I agree. You were hiding out there, weren't you, Ace? You were just waiting for a count. Ace is my age. Dennis McDonald's my age. Palming the ball used to be a penalty. Now it's like, and it's no wonder these guys can do such phenomenal moves, right? They can take 4 steps. There is no 3 seconds, and palming or double dribble or carrying the ball is no longer such a thing. So I can't watch it. Honestly, I can't watch basketball because I feel like there's no rules anymore. Anyway, Ace, how are you, buddy? Nice to have you along with us on this edition of Wednesday Night Live. Dennis McDonald and I go back to 1976. 1976, we were both freshmen. I thought you already retired once. Ace, you retired, and then you took another job, and now you're going to retire again? Man, good for you, buddy. Anyway, Dennis and I were freshmen. NBA isn't college basketball. They're doing it in college, though, too. Now, college football, I love college football. I love college football. I played football and basketball. 76, you were 5. This is for real this time. This one's for real. Anyway, we were freshmen at Ferris State College the same year. We went into the same program. Ace, I could have used you today. Well, I was saying earlier, I got a problem with an electric fireplace, a high end. It's not one of those ones that looks fake. It's a high end. It looks very real. Electric fireplace. And because we bought it in Brighton, and they said they would, Stu's the same age as us. They said they would service it. And then I had a problem. They said, oh, no, it's too far to drive. So the company sent me the parts, replacement, a printed circuit board, swap out some boards. They said, this will solve it. Well, because I fortunately have the knowledge and ability to swap out boards and things like that, but it didn't solve the problem. Go Dogs. Go Dogs. Corey, I'm doing good tonight. How are you? I'm not doing as well as Keith Timbs, who won a Wednesday night game for the holiday. Father-in-law went there. Did he go there when it was Ferris State College or Ferris State University? Great school. Ace, remember that summer we were up there where all we did was, well, I drank beer and played Frisbee, and you played Frisbee? Remember that? Dang, you old. Yep, I'm old. I be old. And I'm feeling it tonight, I think. Yes, Lori, ask your Uncle Roger what years he was at Ferris College. Corey says college. He was there when it was college. What else? Oh, I haven't even told you who. Oh. Well, I'll get to that in a second. I haven't even told you who's on the radio show this week, and then we'll get to this week's Ask Avery segment. On the syndicated outdoor magazine. Cool name, Bear. He's 65. I'm 63. Be 64 this June. On the syndicated outdoor magazine radio show, heard on 32 AM and FM stations across the great state of Michigan, including the podcast. That would be cool. Let you people know that there are walleye are back in the bay. Great fishing until ice up. Thank you, Captain Mark. Appreciate that. Meet Mr. Ferris when I was in college. No, he was gone, but thank you for that. Lance said something. Just get in the calendar. All right, Lance, I'm all for that. Martin, how are you, buddy? Anyway. That's actually, Tom, that's pretty funny. On the Outdoor Magazine radio show, I kick off with Gina Cannell of Jay's Sporting Goods. The question is, Gina, she's the gun department manager there for many, many years. I said, Gina, is there such a thing as muzzleloading enthusiasts anymore? I mean, in the southern part of the state, you can use straight walled cartridges. They got the center fire rifles now. Nope, no station in Detroit. You know why, Mike? Because the stations in Detroit, I'm working on it right now, Kevin. The stations in Detroit want me to pay to be on the air, and I won't do it. Weekend rundown. Gina Cannell of Jay Sporting Goods talking about muzzleloaders, ammunition, guns. Then Elliot Schaefer of the Michigan Wildlife Council with an update on their Here for Generations campaign. Speaking of guns, what gun is this? Boom. That's all you, okay? If you already know, don't say. But if you're joining me late, you got that 1 second look at it. What gun is that? One of the most popular concealed carry guns. Sooner or later, Facebook is going to catch on and kick me off. In hour number 2, we're talking about cold water safety with Joe Marion, a retired Coast Guardsman. Boo. Retired Coast Guardsman. And when he was working, this is SIG P 365. When he was working as a coastie, he helped write the book. It was a blurry one. It's a bang gun. Helped write the book on ice rescues. Then Nick Green of MUCC checks in from Lansing. This week's Ask Avery segment, and this comes about as a result of a post. It's a deadly one, yes. Comes about, I like my shield too, Mike. I like my shield too. If it is a popular concealed carry gun, handgun, made in the last 10 years, I have it. I do. I have it. This week's Ask Avery question comes about as a result of a picture I posted online earlier in the week. In fact, Monday, I had my 30-06 sitting next to my dart and crossbow on the opening day of firearm season. And people said, but the hunting guide says archery season is closed from November 15th to December 1st. It is. Technically, archery season is closed now until December 1st. However, you can use archery gear, recurve, longbow, compound crossbow, to hunt during the firearm season if you wear blaze orange. That's all you got to do. Just wear blaze orange and you can use your bow. My next time out, I'm not even taking a rifle. My rifle was out one day for the opening day of the firearm season. It's going back in the safe, and I won't see it again for another 300 and how many days. And then in hour number 3, Tim Roller of Whitetail Journey talks about deer hunting in Michigan, hunting the late season. There we go. Paulie, how you doing? Do we even need to buy one now? Well, Paul, my understanding is no, you don't even need to buy one now. You can use the straight walled cartridges in the southern part of the state, like the 350 and the 450. And follow firearm. Correct. And follow firearm licensing guidelines. Thank you for that, Stu. Yes. And then, Paul, also in the southern part of the state, some areas you can just use a straight up center fire rifle. Yeah. Basically, what Gina said is, yeah, the people who are still hunting with muzzleloaders, it's because they're hardcore muzzleloading enthusiasts, and they just like it. They just like it. And, of course, we wrap it all up with Wild Game Chef Extraordinaire Dave Miner. This week, Dave does not have a recipe. What he does have is tips on hanging your deer. Yeah, Paul, don't take my word for it. Check it out. Hanging your deer. Dave routinely hangs his whitetails for 7 to 9 days. I would be nervous doing that, but Dave, having the knowledge he does. Yeah, Gina said this. It's impossible to get powder, it's impossible to get Pyrodex, and it's impossible to get primers. Which is going to make it kind of hard to go muzzleloading. You still have muzzleloader season in zones 1 and 2, yes. Can you, is it Cy or CJ? Forgive me. Can you, in zones 1 and 2, can you use the 450 Bushmaster or the 350 Legend? Dixie Dave's restaurant is still there. It's called Oscar and Joey's. It's still there. That's what Dave says, hanging from the rear. He hangs him head down. Hello, Don. How are you? Don McChristian Jr. Your venison is only as good as you handle it after the harvest. That will be a great segment from Dave. Yeah. Okay. And help me. Is it Cy or is it CJ? So I know what to call you next time. Because it looks like capital C, capital I. So Cy. Cabelas has 777. And I say that because I don't intentionally. I mean, I don't like calling people the wrong name. So Cliff. It's Cliff. All right. It's Cliff. Cliff, I will try to remember that. Thank you. Miss the ye old black powder shop in Auburn was quite a place. Yeah. Dave says, if the weather is right, we always hang them for a week. Chris says, heading down, having a head mount done. Chris, where are you going? If head down, if having a head down. Okay, I got you, Chris. Got you. Chris Durson of Rapid River Knife Works, rapidriverknifeworks.com says head down if having a head mount done. Yeah, because you wouldn't want to hang it around the neck. Don's health is finally looking better. Oh, I'm doing good, Don. I'm glad to hear you're on the mend, on the rebound, on the upside, as they say it. Chris, also, I sent you an email reminding you of a project that you were working on for me. Cliff says, don't forget to have your deer checked with a DNR. That's not mandatory, though. Not mandatory. Well, it is if you're in the CWD zone. I'll rephrase. If you're in the CWD zone, it is mandatory, I believe. 1 to 2 weeks is okay, but you have to have the ability to keep your temp regulated, cold but not frozen. And that's what Dave said. He's got a walk-in cooler that's about 40 degrees. You went fishing with Captain Todd last Wednesday. We went 16 for 21 on sturgeon. Wow. 16 for 21. Brian says no longbow hunts this season. Brian, I have never hunted with a longbow, ever. I was hunting with a recurve the last 2 years, and I love it. And it is still my preferred method of hunting. I put the recurve down, and I actually picked up a crossbow. The reason is I wasn't shooting the recurve enough to have the confidence in it that I need to try to take an animal. I killed a bear with my recurve. I killed a turkey with my recurve. I've never killed a whitetail with my recurve, and I desperately want to, but I doubt if it'll ever happen now at this point. Because I believe as a hunter, we need to have confidence that we're going to make a quick, clean, humane killing shot. And I had lost that confidence with my recurve because I wasn't shooting it enough. And that's on me. But I'll be honest, I do give myself credit for knowing that the confidence wasn't there and that I needed to do something else. So I went back to my dart and crossbow. I have confidence in my dart and crossbow. Well, my friends, that just about takes us to our 45-minute time mark. And listen, there's nothing magic about 45 minutes. I have just kind of arbitrarily set my time. I'm getting texts here. Let me see what the texts are real quick. Wisconsin, nice. But I'm going to close those out because I'm on the air right now. I'm not really on the air. I'm streaming live online, but from my broadcast background, I consider it on air. There you go, Stu. You're a good man. Thank you, Craig. I appreciate that. Are you still out there? Are you done, Craig? All right, my friends. Thank you for joining me on this edition of Wednesday Night Live. The website, MikeAveryOutdoors.com. My email address, Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com. I am going to take this, Jay's 50th anniversary Yeti, and you know I would never buy a Yeti because they're too expensive, but I will use them when people give them to me. I'm going to go upstairs. I'm going to fill this about 1/3 full of Maker's Mark and a splash of Crystal Light, and the rest of it's going to be ice. And I'm going to sit there and I'm going to look at that fireplace. Maybe if I stare at it long enough, I can get it to work. Thanks for joining me on this edition of Wednesday Night Live.